Today I'm going to use two different colors of yarn to show you how we change color in a row of double crochet. It's a question I get asked an awful lot and it's really quite simple to do, so let's get started. I'm using Be So Bold, my worsted weight bamboo yarn that's hand painted. This is Ava's Isle d'Amour and this is Isabella's Aegean Oasis. We're going to start with one yarn. I tied it into a knot onto my crochet hook already. You can use a slip knot if you prefer. I prefer a regular knot. And I'm going to start with chaining 11. Okay. We're going to double crochet into the fourth chain from our hook. So we don't count the loop on our hook. We're going to count back 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to yarn over our hook, insert our hook into that fourth chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. The skipped 3 chains counts as our first double crochet, so this is now our second double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're going to do another one. Yarn over our hook, insert our hook into the next stitch, or chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 double crochets in our row. The chain 3 that we skipped is our first one. We have 2 more. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more chains to work our double crochet. So we'll end up having 9 stitches across this row. So we're going to do one more. Yarn over our hook, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to do that across this entire row. Okay, we're on our last stitch now, and I want to change my color before starting the next row so that we have a stripe. And so I'm going to yarn over my hook, insert my hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now to finish this stitch we would normally do yarn over, pull through 2 times. We're only going to do it one time because you want to finish the last step of the stitch before you're changing color with the new yarn. So I'm going to grab the new yarn, hold it in place, and yarn over, pull through 2. So we've actually completed our last stitch that was supposed to be in the first color with the second color. And now we're going to start our second row. Chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. You've probably already done this before, but just a little recap. Chain 3 counts as your first double, so we're going to skip the first stitch because that counts as our first stitch. And we're going to double crochet into the second stitch, yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we'll do this across this entire row. Yarn over, insert our hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to work a double crochet in each stitch across. And in the last stitch, which was a chain 3 that counted as our first stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in the top chain of the chain 3, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We'll now chain 3 and turn our work to count as our first double crochet. So because it counts as our first one, we'll skip that first stitch and we'll double crochet in each stitch across. I want to change color at the end of this row to start our first color again for our stripes in the next row. So what I'm going to do at the end of this row is finish the last stitch, the last step of the last stitch in this row with the new color. Okay, so we're going to work our last stitch now, which means we have to work it into the top of the chain 3. And we now have 3 loops on our hooks. We need to do a yarn over, pull through 2 times, but we're going to do it once with that color, and now we're going to grab the original color and do it with this one. Okay, so that's how you change color from one row to the next, and you just want to leave that long enough so that it doesn't stretch your stitches. Now I want to show you how we do that within the stitches in the same row. So we're going to start with a chain 3 to turn our work, and now we're going to yarn over, insert our hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now let's say we wanted to change color in our row, so we're going to grab that first color and finish that last step of this stitch with that new color. Okay, so now we're set up for working with the first color again, or sorry, with the second color again. So now we'll yarn over, insert our hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. But if we wanted to switch to the first color again, we would change color in the step before we finish that stitch. So see, so it ends up, it's kind of tricky because you'd think that it doesn't seem logical, because you'd think you would just start each color as you go, but as you do that, you position your yarn, you position your yarn to be ready for the next stitch by finishing off the last step in the stitch before. So we'll do this again. We're going to finish that stitch with the other color. Okay, so now we'll start this stitch with this color, and then we'll switch back. So we just don't want to finish the last step of the stitch if we want to position ourselves for the new color. Okay, I'm going to add another color in the next row so you can see the contrast even better. So we're going to stick with the darker of the two. We'll stick with Ava's Isle d'Amour and return our work, and we'll work a second double crochet normal. We did chain 3 to count as our first. Now we'll start another one, yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're not going to finish this stitch because we want to change color. So I'm going to pull out Be So Sporty in Sun-Kissed Yellow for a nice high contrast here. And we're going to finish the last step of that stitch with the yellow. Okay, so now we're going to start the next stitch with the yellow. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. But let's say we want to switch back to the first color so that we're changing color after every stitch. So we'll finish the last step of the stitch with the purple variegated. We'll start our next stitch with the purple variegated, but we're going to finish the last step of the stitch with the yellow. Okay, we'll start the next stitch with the yellow, but if we're going to be changing color, we're going to switch back to the purple on the last step. So it's all based on what you do on the last step of how you change color from one stitch to the next.